Okay. Well, now I'm going to speak as a partner. Exactly what we have done here in Seville, and how these European projects have improved our innovative methodology, our way of teaching, and also I think that our way of research for the future. I think that most of the professors that are here in the table follow the same schedule for the project. First of all, we have to learn about, professors have to learn about physical-cognitive map. Also, I have to learn about transhumance because it wasn't my research field, so I have to learn also about this. We were doing that in Newcastle. I missed to go to Newcastle, so I hope I have the opportunity to go in the future. But we learn in 2 different courses by an online workshop. So it was really a very interesting course, and I think all of us learned too much in this course. After this, we have to, when you are in the course in Newcastle, you have an opinion, you learn about transhumance, but you have to go to your university, to go to your classroom, and to implement this new methodology. So it's not so easy. You have to change your mind, to design your course, and to go and to see how you are going to do that. I have to say that in the middle of that, we have a pandemic situation. We have a pandemic, so everything changed, and it was a change, but it was also opportunity to learn, because we have to change the finish date of the project. We have 1 year more, and Josefina said at the beginning that we need at least 5 days to learn the program, the physical-cognitive map, but I think that we need also 1 year more to work with mental modeler, because it was, for me, was an opportunity, and I think that at the end was good, this option. And at the end, I am going to speak a bit about the evaluation of the process here in Seville with the surveys that we designed for the project. The first year of the project, it was the course 2019-2020, and during this course, we were in the meeting, in the course in Newcastle, 2 different courses, and we were here with a student of the Master of Conservation and Diagnosis of Cultural Heritage. So we proposed them to carry out a final project for the master, and it was 12 ECTS, and it has to work for more than 300 hours. And he was a student, but he also works in Andorra Cultural Heritage Organization, in the management of cultural heritage in Andorra. So I think that for him it was really interesting, this course and this learning. At the end of the project, we sent a research paper about the use of this physical-cognitive map and Delphi method applied to the conservation of transhumant heritage in Andorra landscape. So I think it's a very good result of the projects. The second year, 2020-2021, we're working with a student of environmental science degree of the 4 years. We have 18 students, and we work with them in English and in Spanish, and unfortunately we have to work with them online, because in this moment here in Spain most of the activities was online. We work with them during a subject that have CECTS, and we make all the practical sessions about 2 companies that was located in a transhumance way, and how they can, with fusing cognitive maps and other methodology, to improve the environmental management of these companies. After this, we make some activities about teaching innovation. During this year, we have repeat the process with environmental science students, and in this case only in Spanish, and for the first time in the project we have the opportunity to work on them face to face, and it was wonderful. One of the things that the students have mentioned, that they need to learn mental modeler face to face, because online for students is very difficult. I think it was difficult for professors, for us in Newcastle, but for students, they need in the coffee break to share opinions, to say, but I don't understand this, how do you have understand this? So this is something that is really very important. During this year, we have 5 hours for the projects, though they do all the other activities, but we have 5 hours, and then they have to work, to do homework for 10 hours, more or less. During this year, we also present this project for the call of innovative project for innovation in methodology here in the university, and we get this project. And we also produce a video that is included in UPO TV, but I'm not going to repeat this. And we present yesterday a poster in the Teaching Innovative Congress here in the university. Here you have some picture of the student this year. We decide, it was at the beginning of the first face-to-face lessons, we decided to do it on the open classroom, and here you can see them working in the campus. The problem here was the sound. They don't hear very well, but we have to improve this for the future. After this, we decided to make a call in order to go to Valencia. We were thinking that a lot of students were fond of this, and they are going to want to go, but unfortunately, we have to carry out 3 calls to obtain 8 students that want to go to Valencia. For me, this was a disappointing moment, because for me it was so interesting. I thought in my times in the university I will go sure to this kind of activities, but it's not the unique project here that have this problem. With the pandemic, I am afraid that we prefer for some things online activities. I don't know why, but when we have online activities, then we say, I will prefer presential activities. So this is a strange thing. In Valencia PECUS, at the end, we work with undergraduates, master students, and PhD students. We have 30 hours practical sessions, and we get here in the university the recognition in the degree certificate of this course with a homework that they do when they arrive to Seville. So in the certificate of the student of UPO, undergraduate student, when they finish their degree of environmental science, will appear that they have carried out a PECUS project, Erasmus PECUS project in their background, in their knowledge. So they have learned about mental model and will appear in their certificates. This is some photo of the students in the Valencia course. I think that they have a very good time and they learned too much, so I think it's a very good result of the projects. And about exactly what we carry out here, we follow the recommendation of the course in Newcastle and Flavio's recommendation for the use of mental modeler. And we set up different companies of 5 students. And in these companies, we mentioned to the student that the company will be in Pizarra, a small village where we have a transhumance way, that is the Calzada Real, so they have to work there, and they have to carry out environmental certification following the international standard 40,001, and during these 22 hours, they have to carry out different procedures, identification and evaluation of environmental aspect. They also have to produce, to understand the influence of the companies in the environmental field, not only in the landscape but also in the water discharge procedures, in the atmospheric emissions, and to carry out the audit process. In the middle of this, they carry out a mental model to understand if it was interesting to carry out a certification in our company, what will happen to the landscape, to the water, to the field, to the atmospheric situation if we have a fire, a flood, or an earthquake in our company. So I think that they learned too much about this project and about mental model and about the issue of the subject that was environmental management system. One thing that was really important at the beginning of the project is that we decided to give them some variables, only 15 variables, because at the beginning they prepared a very big mental model or map, and it was impossible to treat with all these variables. So at the end, we decided that all the teams, all the companies will work only with 15 variables. I want to give you some of the results. You have on the upper part the result of the first year, and on the second part the result of the first year and the second year. In the first year, we have in the both cases we have more or less 80 students, and here we have a 40% of the answer, and in the second year only 12% of the answer. Both say that they don't have previous knowledge. Near the 90%, they say that they don't have previous knowledge about fuzzy cognitive map or about mental modeler. But after the course, they say that they were satisfied with this activity. You can see here that they are very satisfied, most of the 50%. And even in the second course, they are more satisfied. I have to say that the first year, they decide that we have a very good percentage, but I have to say also that they were working with us during 22 hours, and in the second case, they only work with 5 hours. So I think that the difference is something that Josefina mentioned at the beginning of the activities. We asked also about how they consider fuzzy cognitive map to assess multiple aspects, and they answer only this year, because this was a question that we include this year, and they mentioned in 70% of the students that they are quite satisfied with this activity, and it's near 80% at the end. About the methodology to involve other opinions, other topics in this work, if they recommend this methodology, we can see that more than 50% of the students in the first year, and in the second year, near the 70% of the students will recommend the use of fuzzy cognitive map to work in similar topics. I have to say that at the end, all the activities are interdisciplinary, so I think it's a very good result. And about the question about this methodology and its interdisciplinary work, you can see that also the answer was really very good, and more than the 50% was thinking that it's a very interesting tool to work in interdisciplinary team. Well, as a summary, I have to say that we have worked with one master student, with more than 150 undergraduate students in 2 different courses, and we have 2 students of different levels in Valencia course. One of the things that I think that it was very interesting is the option that this course will be recognized in the marks, in the final marks of the UPO student of environmental science. This is to discuss after, but I have to say that we have speak about this before. So one of the things that I think is very important is the level of a student, the level of knowledge. I think that something that is really very important in the project is working very well the brainstorming versus the interdisciplinarity, and you notice here the difference between the levels of students. For the research, we recommend to associate Delphi to the mental modeler maps, and I think that one of the things that the students have mentioned that for them the scenario to interpret, to understand the scenario is sometimes a bit difficult. I'm sorry if I used more time, but thank you very much for your attention, and I give the word to Flavio.